So Lindsay is back from vacation, guys. Welcome back to another edition of Write This. Lindsay is not back from vacation yet.
I was in Mexico. They were doing a lot of this.
This is this week's...
which I was really good at, by the way.
This is this week's special guest, Camila Vargas.
And if you watch Queen of the South, I'm obsessed with that show.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
No this morning.
Yeah, no. We're doing this. We're doing a morning cast. Love that. So we got lots of coffee. I'm drinking the new. I should have gotten ice, but I got hot because I was hot, and now I'm like, because I was just picking up my cat's throw.
I will say that I'm a basic. I love the pumpkin spice latte, the pumpkin cold brew, the cold foam.
Oh yeah, it's fall.
Yeah,
it's fall. It was so weird to me too because I just came back from Mexico. So
no pumpkins.
No, it was definitely not fall there.
But we have margaritas. Just like a margarita latte.
I was drinking like pina coladas, and I was like, this is weird. I just feel like I'm like my nails were like fallish. I just like feel like I was in a fall vibe, but I was like in a pool drinking pina coladas. Tough life, I know. It's
like those TikToks where the guy comes back and he goes, one day after dating a Puerto Rican, and then. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Una mes after dating una puertorriqueña, and then he starts getting more Puerto Rican.
It's so good. And then the shower is the shower curtain is the Puerto Rican flag. All my friends sent me that because they were like, "This is you," because you. Some of my best friends are Spanish, and I always say, like I try to be as cool as them.
Yeah. But Puerto Ricans are a special breed.
Oh yeah, one of my best friends in the whole world is Puerto Rican, and her family. I'm just like honorary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, today we're going to talk about a few different things while we're eating. Today's going to be kind of an eating video too, because I'm starving. That pumpkin muffin...
I'm alive and breathing. So
is delicious. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about... I finally had my first Reiki.
We're going to follow up.
With Kerri.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Wicked excited to hear about how it went. I honestly have not heard, so this will be my first time here.
And then second, we'll talk about a little bit about your favorite things in Mexico. But then more importantly, we're also going to talk about last week, Lindsay had her first class.
Yeah, last week was crazy. That's why we didn't drop an
episode. Yeah, sorry guys. We love you though.
We really do. Yeah.
We love you.
We do. Lupe's car like just decided that it was not going to work that week.
Basically, life happens. And Duncan helps.
Thank God.
Thank you, Duncan, for existing.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was just crazy.
I started a new job and was trying to go to Mexico.
Yeah, it was just it was a lot going on. So I'll start off real quick with my.
No one started eating it like
while you're enjoying your pumpkin muffin.
Muffin?
Kerri.
Tell me.
So first of all, you walk in. I'm gonna give a little like.
Oh yes, please explain her little area.
So you walk in, and there she is, just brimming, smiling, cutie. She does the hugs, heart to heart. Only if you are comfortable with hugging.
Left side, right?
Yeah. So you hug left instead of everyone does right.
So now Lupe will only hug me on the right.
Yeah. I don't want my heart touching yours. So you sit down and you automatically feel relaxed. Feel so relaxed. Mm-hmm. She's got like, I don't know if it's just her place, but it smells great. She's got that very what do you want to call it? I don't want to say tantric, but that very calming music playing.
I always think of it as like yoga music.
Yeah, like yoga music.
Like spa music, yeah.
She just has everything, and she's ready to rock and roll, right?
Now, were the lights all the way on when you walked in, or did she?
I don't know. They were on. But I don't know if they were full blast or not.
They're not like blaring, which is nice.
So you sit down, and then she has a bunch of decks, right? Did you do this too? I want to cross-reference your visit. So she has all these decks, and they all have different things, right? So one is like guardian angels, one is your past life. One is your purpose. One is like a traditional tarot card.
Like the cards that she brought on the last podcast. Yeah.
So she tells you which ones are you drawn to. All right, so I pick a few. And just off the rip on the first deck, I was like, come on.
Why would you go?
Well, I'm like...
Your car is going to fail.
No. But I'm just like, oh my God, come on. It's like, do you work for the NSA? Right? And then the second deck. The second deck, it was the 1-2 punch. The second deck was the right hook after the jab. So I was like, in my head, I'm going, Kerri, you definitely work for the federal government. Like, I didn't say this to her, but in my head, I'm like, this is nuts. So, whenever you try something new like that, 10% of you is reserved, right? Apprehensive.
I would say absolutely.
After that second deck, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to be wide open and vulnerable here. And that's the best way to go into these type of things, right? Like, I was all in for it, but I was like, I don't know, like, I was like a little bunny in the corner, a little shy also.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody is when they go into their first... I wasn't like... I wasn't... your energies, that's vulgar, that's very...
Yeah, I wasn't like skeptic, I was just like protective of myself too. But as soon as the second deck hit, I was like, all right, you win. But then it keeps going.
How many cards did you pull?
3. No, 3. But what she does is, if she feels it, she's got to feel it, right? Because she's the power source. She'll grab an extra one, and actually on the second one, she's like, I'm being called to pull another one. Boom! I was like, okay.
Lupe passed out.
Yeah, I was like, and probably for Kerri, and Kerri, if you end up watching this, I was like this half the time going. Like,
Why'd you look like our friend Danny when you did that?
because this is what Danny does. And then she does the traditional tarot card.
Carrots, were they purple?
But she does a really good job of explaining not only the card in its literal sense, but what she's feeling through the cards. And when she gets to the end point of kind of the overall feeling of it, you're like, this is like, how do you know this? This is insane.
It really is phenomenal. Like after you go, then you're like, then it hits. Then you're like, okay, that's great. And we have to say shout out to a lot of people that actually hit Kerri up after the last podcast because they wanted a session with her. We're really happy.
And she does them remotely too. So if you want to do it like over like Zoom or FaceTime or something like that.
How was your first like Reiki? I'm
about to get into that
together. So like it starts crumbling.
Yeah.
This is my muffin.
It's your muffin cookie.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to add too real quick is that Kerri, a lot of that stuff people dismiss as kind of like New Age or occult or something like that. But Kerri is this really rare energy where, guys, she's religious too. She had a picture of my man Jesus up there.
Yeah, she did.
So she's this really, as you guys, if you didn't catch the last episode, she's just really cool, and she channels both worlds because they're actually one world, but she does a really good job of doing this for you, so
because
that
at the
you
end
understand.
Of the day,
and then to one.
No matter who you look up to or who you look to.
Yeah.
There is something, whether it's energies, whether you think that those energies are being put out by a god or whomever your version of a god is. But, yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to hear, I don't think we asked this on the last podcast, but I'm very interested to hear what people thought about that part.
Yeah.
Do you think that religion and the universe and Reiki can be together? I'm sure there are some people that are going to be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, of course. But I'll give my opinion. My opinion is that they're one and the same.
Yeah.
They were just, at some point in history, they were probably broken off into different denominations. I don't know what you want to call it, but...
I mean, my grandma's not going to watch this, so it's fine, but
yeah.
honestly want to know what I think?
It's because it's one energy. Everything comes from one energy.
But it's a power struggle.
Well, yeah. We went there.
Yeah, we're going there.
Yeah,
no, seriously.
Yeah.
No, think about it. Everybody can believe that there is a greater purpose, a greater power.
Yeah.
Whether that is energy, a person, whatnot. A long time ago, you had men who were like, this is my version of it. And then you had another man that was like, because it was all men, obviously, they were like, no, my is more important. And that's just like I remember thinking, even when I was a child, because I grew up Catholic, I was raised Catholic, like how the Protestants broke off from the Catholics. And it's just like, okay, but what are the real differences between being a Protestant and being Catholic? It's like a separation of a percentage of a whatever. You know what that means? Somebody was swinging their you-know-what around and was like, nah, I'm gonna create my own group. And that's exactly how I figure.
I think, and that's, if you really look at all of them too, they're basically the same. Very minute differences. It's kind of like, it's like anything else.
And we're not judging. We should say, please whatever you want.
It's
AutoZone.
I feel like that's, what would be really, really awesome? Oh my God. I need to actually write this down.
Also, please hold up your notebook. Now, did you get the second muffin for me or for you?
No, I got it for you because you just came back from vacation, and sometimes you need to like slide into regular life.
Yeah.
So I think this would be really interesting.
With 2 muffins.
I'm actually going to reach out to, and you can too, or if anybody in Rhode Island has any suggestions, I'm actually going to reach out to a couple of pastors and a couple of religious folk and see if they want to jump on. Not in the way of trying to kind of like preach or anything, but their perspective on the different types of religion and how they all kind of coexist and things like that.
I will say that there are some religions that are more accepting of others than others.
True, yeah.
There are some that you will ask, and they're like, no, everyone else is wrong, we are right.
True, yeah.
There are some that are very, I would be interested, more importantly, to get someone that is non-denominational, because I think that is the big power struggle.
Yeah, I think, and there's a lot of new churches that are like that. A lot of new churches they basically go off of, and guys, we're talking about Christian churches here. That's what we know. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot of Christian churches out there that are very just more focused on the teachings of Jesus Christ as opposed to all the other stuff, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So that's what I really liked about Kerri. You don't have to be one thing in this world. You can be everyone's a hybrid. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone's a hybrid. So that's what I enjoyed about that part of it. So the Reiki session, this is where, did you have to strip all the way down? I'm just kidding. I didn't either. I was just joking. I
knew that was false because if somebody asked Lupe to do that, he'd be like, I'm out.
Excuse me?
Tell them that I'm wrong.
So she has this very comfortable bed, and it's very elevated. And you lay down.
It's not bad. It's lovely.
Well, sorry, she makes you pull a card, an energy card. And I don't want to brag, but I got the highest energy card that anybody can get. I got the Pokemon card. I got the Pikachu card.
First of all, Pikachu was the one that it was easy to find.
Oh, really? Well, whatever
the difficult ones to find were like...
What's the name of it? Yeah, I can...
Charmander, like
that
Squirtle.
One. Yeah, one of those. Anyways, I'm rare. So you lay down, and this is what's guiding her Reiki session. So what she's basically doing is she's aligning you, right? She's aligning your chakras. I think at one point I did. She's like, there was one point where you.
No. Fell right asleep.
I was like, yeah, I figured. I think it was probably the one time where the mini snore woke me up. Well, I was like this. I was like, yeah, I'm here.
Oh my God.
But the closed eyes.
She says it's okay though.
Yeah, she just means that. And when I had gotten to my session, I had drinking a Monster, right? Because it was earlier in the morning for me. So I was like,
so what is early in the morning for you?
Yeah. So I'm like semi-retired now, so I can wake up whenever I want. Okay. So I had gotten there with Monster because I wanted to be alert. I wanted to be awake. So she's like, we're going to start with the card then. But she did. She's like, you're actually going to... she had said that you're going to challenge me today, which is good. I'm a challenging person. And she knocked it out of the park, man. She dropped my heart rate down.
Really?
She put, what is that, amethyst? She put an amethyst stone on my third eye.
Oh, she used stones, okay.
Yeah, to like calm me down, and it worked. And she was, this is why I love Kerri.
So I just have to throw amethyst at you now if I want to shut you up?
Here's the thing, she gifted me another stone.
Oh, I love her so much.
She's like,
so cute.
she's like, you need this. And I was like, I'm going to take this as a compliment.
You are.
Okay.
No, you are.
Yeah.
You're pretty, you can be high strung, which is surprising.
Listen, guys, because I'm ready to, there's things to do.
See what I mean?
So you lay down, and did she put any weights on you?
No, honey, I got enough.
Well, so I'm laying down, and then, you know, what she does, she starts up here and then works her way down, right? And she's like, don't worry about if I cough. That just means, like, I'm taking care of some stuff for you, and I'm coughing it. I don't want to call it, like, negative energy, but if she has to process something, she needs to cough it out, like.
So she was coughing out a lot of your negative energy?
No, she coughed one time, okay? So she got down, and then she got down to my legs, and she had to put weights on my legs because she said that I was floating.
She said you didn't feel grounded?
Yeah, so she put some weights. I guess I was floating in the air. So she put some weights down, and she finished the session, which was amazing. I had a...
That makes sense. You are floating in the air.
I did have
excuse me.
Like a head high, too. It was very...
Did it get warm near your ears? That's what happened to me. I was very warm up here.
So a part of my body got really cold, and I run hot, right?
No.
I run hot. Big boy, big engine runs hot. Okay. So she was like, okay, she says that she usually puts the heater on the bed. She's like, I'll turn it off for you.
Oh, yeah, I had the heater on. It was lovely, which
Really?
is ironic because I usually run hot, too.
She turned it off, and the funny part is that my legs over here, they were getting really cold. So I think that's at the point that she needed to put the weights down. But she's like, do you feel anything? And I was like, I really feel like head high. Like I feel like...
This is after the session.
This is after the session. We're sitting down. And I guess what she does is she opens up like your mind to like connect the energy.
Your crown.
Yeah, between the different energy sources. So I was like, this is crazy, man. But I had an enjoyable time.
It's wild.
It's so wild. And I know I'm missing so much because I was such in the moment.
But that's good.
But I can't wait to actually go back.
Yeah, no, that's great. I hope you guys all try.
One last thing.
I hope you guys all try it out now, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So one last thing, too, is she'll tell you if...
Is that the cat?
I'm about to bring up this let's move this back. This is creepy.
I'm gonna blame that on Lupe, the cat.
So I don't even know how I did that if it was me. So she tells you if she sees anybody or has any kind of visions or stuff.
Oh yeah, who did she see for you?
So for me, right, because I'm not really close with my family, but there are certain people that I was, and she's like, I saw your grandparents, right? This is where I almost lost it, right? But I was like, bad mental health moment here, guys. But I was like, I'm a man, don't cry, because I know if I started the waterfalls, it would be Niagara Falls. It would just be, and then it would be her just consoling me like a baby. So she saw grandparents, and before I can even explain it, she's like, I saw a dirt floor. And she's like, she said she saw a dirt floor, she saw cement, and she was basically explaining the house of a small memory I used to have when I was a little kid, of a place that I felt safe. And it was my grandparents' house in Mexico. And I was like, yeah, we used to make tortillas, and like Mexico, we used to make tortillas from scratch. And yeah, they were poor. They had a dirt floor in the house, and everything was made out of cement. You took cold showers. So we were explaining it, and she was just smiling the whole time. She's like, that's what I saw. And I was like, this is creepy. We gotta stop this.
That's nice though.
But there was a lot of things.
There
were some other personal things. I probably don't want to get into it a little bit more, but there were some other personal things that she tapped into. So
I didn't know that you had memories of your grandparents.
So she was. I have very little, and they're in a special place. So it was very.
Until what age?
Like
how young are we talking?
Like 5. 5-ish, yeah. They're in a very special place, and it was very telling that she unlocked some of it. So. She basically said that they're the ones that are my guardian angels and things like that. So
I could see that.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
That was beautiful.
I don't know why I said thank you back.
That's like one of those. Have a nice day.
Yeah, have a nice day. Thank you. So we probably talked way too much on that, but
No, thank you for sharing that. That was really awesome.
We'll put down below more info on Kerri, guys. She is the real deal. I can't wait to go back. She had said that if it was a longer Reiki session, I think she had other clients after me. If it was a longer one, she would have tapped in more into that. And obviously I want that. So
next time.
So I'll be rescheduling another Reiki session with her too, to kind of, and I'll tell you, the last 24 hours, I did this yesterday, the last 24 hours, I have been so light. Like I have just been light.
So you just got this done a day ago?
Yeah, less than 24 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's exactly what it's supposed to do for you. So I'm glad that happened. You know what she said when she said for me, she kept getting like a Native American presence. And I was like, she's like, does that mean anything to you? And I was like, not that I know of. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm interested, but.
Time to research.
I know.
Yeah.
I was very interested. Well, for those that don't know too, is my mom is adopted. So, she's.
I didn't know that.
You did? You didn't know that?
No.
Yep. My mom and my aunt. So, my cat is freaking out over there. I'm sorry. Lupe, chill out. He's got the zoomies. But yeah, so I don't know if that's like some like family member that like I don't know about or whatnot. But yeah. I mean, my mom knows that she's Portuguese and French. And that's like from like, I'm assuming like birth certificates or like whatever.
Which also has like deep, that part of the world has deep roots, right? It can go back to everything. And they were part of colonial powers.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
So, they mixed in with a lot of indigenous populations. So there's a lot of history there.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to know. But it's funny because actually transitioning to Mexico here, I was just talking to one of the girls that was on the trip with us, and she was like, she's like, I don't like the 23 like and me things or whatever. She was like, because, and like, not that my mom's a conspiracy theorist at all, because she's really not, but she's like,
I already know where this is going. She
was like, your DNA is the one thing that you have, like whatever. And it's funny because my friend Mari said the same thing, and I was like, it's interesting that they have like such a strong feeling about that. I've never thought about it that way, I guess.
Yeah, but they can get your DNA from anything. Tell your friend if she's ever had a margarita, they took the glass. the FBI has her DNA.
So everyone's like, oh, why don't you? It'd be so interesting for you to do 23andMe or like whatever.
Have you done it yet?
No.
I did it. It was amazing. First of all, I won't get into the origins of it, but
I wouldn't do it only because I know it would upset my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, if she's like super against it, like it's not that important to me, so it's not like a battle that I'm like trying. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's like whatever. Like we know I'm Latina. It's fine. Like we don't need It was funny though. Everyone in Mexico thought I was Spanish.
Yeah. Did you wear your hair like this? You were
definitely. One day I did. Yeah. But it was funny because when I went through customs, the lady says to me, she's like, habla español. And I was like, like un poco, like not very well. Yeah. And then we went through customs or whatever, and I asked all the other girls, I was like, did everyone else get asked if they spoke Spanish? Kelsey.
Do you feel profiled?
My friend whose bachelorette party it was, she's like, fair skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. She's like, look at me. Do you think they asked me? And I was like...
And I guess that's one way they get you.
So the best part of Mexico, guys, is that I was named Queen of the Pool. Okay? Swear to God.
Queen of the pool.
Queen of the pool.
Yeah.
So that's what my name was for the rest of the vacation. Because they had a dance contest. So of course in the pool, the guy was like, we need 4 crazy ladies up here. So of course all my friends are like, she'll do it.
Because you would.
I was like, oh God. I was like, okay, I'm a little hungover, but like, let's do this.
Yeah.
We had no idea what we were doing either. So I was like, oh God. Now the day before they had a twerking competition that I was like, oh God, don't let this be, like, I was like, I'm a little hungover for this, like right now, like whatever. So they had me, this other chick, I forget where she was from.
Not part of
DC.
your group?
No, not part of my group. And these 2 women from Philly.
How many? Yeah.
Go for it. So they were like, speaking of vibes and energies, they were like, we're gonna read your energy and play a song, like whatever.
So you had a different Reiki session.
I did. No. So they played, and then they started calling me Jennifer Lopez, but they played the Gloria Estefan Let's Get Loud. They didn't play the like whatever, but like as soon as that music hit, I was like, hey. But the girl from DC, they played a Britney Spears song, and the other girls, they played a Meg Thee Stallion song, and Beyonce.
Yeah.
But I got the Latin song. I wasn't upset about it.
No.
So I rocked it out. And then she says to us, the lady up there, she's like, this is your stage. Like the whole side of the pool. So I like.
Did you work the whole thing?
I worked that stage. I was like, yeah. And then the next day I got.
Literally, I got texts from Lindsay going, I think I'm moving down here. I'm going, what? What are you doing down there? You're doing some volunteer work. You're helping out the local population.
Queen of the pool.
This is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
So it was so great. But and then the next day they were like, oh, we need some ladies to like dance. And then like one of the people there were like, Jennifer Lopez, you, like we remember you, like you're coming. But it was a Zumba class, so I was exercising. All the other girls like turned around. They were like, like
I would have left. Baño. Oh, that's not a baño.
So we did a merengue, we did a salsa, and then we did 2 other songs. I forget, but I was sweating.
Good
and I was
for you. I don't know how to dance to any of those.
It's hard. Well, it was harder because if you guys don't know, I broke my ankle last year, so I'm super paranoid about everything. But we were on the cement on the side of the pool, and it's wet. So I like didn't want to do like 2 like quick step. You know what I mean? So like I kind of like I fudged some of it, but like I got the I got the premise of it. Yeah, I was sweating. I took the Zumba class, all right?
How hot is it down there?
Actually, the first day we got there, it was raining. The second day, it was like, the last day we were at the pool was the hottest day. It was definitely like into the 90s. It was already, the UV was already at 11.
Was that bad?
By like 10 or 11 a.m. That's super hot. That's like a really strong. And it's funny because I got a little red like on my chest, but it's super funny because people were like coming for me on the gram and they were like, you didn't wear sunscreen, da da da. And I was like, first of all, I've had skin cancer before, so I love when people lecture me about sunscreen. I do wear sunscreen. Let's just get that out there.
You're gonna get darker.
I was like, first of all, I have dark skin, so I soak up like sun a lot.
You got a nice even one too.
But thank you, yeah. But there was this one picture that the filter that I put on it to make my friend look tan made me look a little red. And I was like, I don't care. Like, whatever. I didn't know that people were going to, like, flip out. So I just ignored most of them. But for all of you people that are watching, cheers.
You're on vacation. You're at a bachelorette party.
Oh, yeah. And then we could talk about the outcry of, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about it. Well, let me set the stage for it then. You're here celebrating love and a friendship, and
the same penis forever.
And you can't. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Actually, we shouldn't judge. We don't know what type of relationship they have.
Well, I do.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, first of all, it's one of my best friends, so I do.
No, I'm just kidding. What is that thing called where...
Polymorous?
Yeah, polymorous.
Which, if anybody wants to come on the podcast and talk about that, I'm obsessed with learning about that. Please tell us.
I'm so glad you said this.
Sister wives. Because it's so fascinating to me. Please come on and talk about it.
So here's the thing, right? Everyone probably thinks like, oh, they just want to ask about the sex and stuff.
No.
No.
Not at all.
There are so many dynamics and little... little
I want to know if
detail.
there's a hierarchy. I want to know who, if there are multiple things going on, like who is more important. I want to know if there's jealousy. I want to know what goes into bringing another party in. Because have you ever seen like there's two women and a man and they meet a woman and then they bring her into marriage? Like I want to know more about that. How does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
How do you sit down at a table and you're like, what do you like about her? What do you like? Should we invite her into the family? Like, how does this impact your children? I have a lot of questions. Lots. Anyways.
Who pays the bill? Do you split it 3 ways? Do you have a family account? What is it?
I don't think the women work. Well, excuse me. I should not generalize like that. When I watched Sister Wives, because it was like it wasn't Mormon, maybe they were Mennonite. I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest.
But that's marriage. Like, I'm so interested.
The women didn't work. They had a lot of kids. They had 11 kids.
But I'm talking about more the people that aren't married without kids. I'm also interested in that dynamic.
Oh, that's just sex. No, I'm serious. I actually follow this couple on... No, seriously. I just follow this couple on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they talk about how they are, like, allowed to step out sexually, but they, like, tell each other about it. And, like, at the end of the day, like, they know that, like, they're the ones that, like, have... See...
I know. It's such a weird...
I am way too jealous for that. You know what? Honestly, I'm not judging at all. Power to you. If that is the relationship that makes you happy...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just about to say.
Like, good for you, because there are a lot of people that can't even be happy in just a two-person relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, man or woman aside. But it's just for me, like, I mean, if anybody knows me, like, somebody's trying to, like, look at my boyfriend, and I'm like, can I help you? That's also not healthy, so I know that's another reason.
That's being worked on. There's just so many.
Therapy.
So here's the thing. Life is so fascinating that I'm just so curious, and it's not about being nosy. It's about I want to understand.
No, it's not about being nosy at all. I literally want a greater understanding of this.
Yeah,
because there are so many more people that do it than we think. And like, so the Sister Wives was filmed in Utah because Utah is one of like the biggest states because I think polygamy is legal there. Because technically it's not legal in many other states. Yeah. Which, you know what? I have a problem with. Because if you are for LGBTQ rights, which I am, I'm not going to tell a man or a woman or a trans man or a trans woman or however you identify who they want to marry. So who are we to tell somebody how many people they can marry or what makes them happy?
Yeah.
Sit on that.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I always...
Seriously.
This is guys,
I'm for it. Like, if that is what you want, this is our move in Mexico.
This is so sometimes when I jump in with thoughts, they're not exactly my thoughts. They're just what I like to do is I like to play devil's advocate, which you always hate, right? In some situations, you go, Lupe.
Well, yeah, it's different. When we're having a podcast, we're having a discussion like this, but we're talking about like my life. I'm like, no. First of all, I'm sharing this because you're on my side. Okay, that's it. Anyways, continue. I digress.
I always like to look at things from the other point of view, or sometimes there's multiple points of view. So how do we get to this? My first Mexico Queen of the Pool. We'll backtrack.
Okay.
We were talking about marriage. So
we don't know. Kelsey's married.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very much
and
not
we're joking.
Yeah. Kelsey texted me. She's like, "Excuse me."
The knee-jerk reaction to something like that is that it's a religious thing, right? So a lot of state laws are actually based on old, and that's where the separation of church and state needs to be more divided, right?
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't.
Don't get me on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm just going to glide over this.
Yeah, we're going to save that for another episode.
Excuse me. But a lot of those laws are based off of that. That's why. But why is it different in Utah? Because Utah has a different religion, right? There's no official religion of any of the states, but a lot of the residents of Utah follow a different religion, and there's a lot of folks in that.
This is just going back to because people feel like they can control other people's lives, whether it's politically, religiously, family oriented, whatever have you.
If we could all just take a moment and just have a taco I think that would make the world a lot better place.
Have a taco, real Mexican avocados on a dirt floor. That's what's up.
And you're good to go. Mm-hmm. All right, so
back to the same penis forever. So there were people that were really upset on Instagram.
And yes, she said the word penis.
Yes, I said the word penis. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Guess what? You all came from one. So I loved all the Karens, and yes, I'm calling you Karens, on my page that were like, oh my God, some things should be kept private. Oh my God. I was like, first of all, you're telling me that you went to a bachelorette party and there was no, like...
Yeah, they have straws made out of it.
No, like, penis straws or no anything, whatever. So we had this game, and it was like these plastic penises, and it was literally ring around the penis instead of like horseshoes or whatever. So somebody like could like put it on their head or like whatever.
Oh, and then you have to. Okay.
So Kelsey was like playing a chicken fight with Kelsey's the Bachelorette with Mari.
Yeah.
And I snuck up behind her to scare her with like one of the fake penises or whatever, and kind of like shoved it like in her face, and it was hysterical. Everyone was laughing in the pool. Even like there were like older ladies there. Shout out to this group of 4 ladies that we met from West Virginia. Yeah. Loved them. They were great.
They were like, yeah.
They were like, we want to play. They actually it was so great.
We want to play the penis game.
Yeah. It was so great. Yeah. But it was so fun. But there were people on Instagram that were like, you used to be classy. And now, how dare you? This is my favorite. There was a man, shout out to this man, whoever you are, that I blocked. But he was holding up a dead deer. Now, I love animals, so I was offended by that. Yeah. And he was like, oh, well, like, this is disgusting, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I'm sorry. What about this offends you? That, oh, wait, men can go on bachelor parties and get strippers and have boobs in their face.
Not for me.
And all that. Well, I'm just saying some men.
I would like to go to the library.
But heaven forbid, a woman has fun like that. And then that was coming from the men, that it was like, whatever, like the older men. And then the women acting like it was like the most disgusting thing. And that's why I was like, guess what? The unfollow button's free. Hit it. Like.
So here's the thing that I've learned, right? Especially more so in the YouTube world. Is you're going to have 100 people that like your stuff.
Go ahead, find me on Instagram, find a picture, let me know what you think of it.
Well, 100 people will like it. You're going to have 1 or 2 that don't like it, and that's the thing.
Picture did very well too.
So we had spoken about this, right, while you were still in Mexico, and I said, great, that's a miniature form of Darwinism.
Yeah, exactly.
You have literally weeded out the people that don't vibe with you.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, literally.
Guess what? This is what happens, because this happened to me on YouTube. They come back. They go, oh, I'm sorry, I overreacted. I actually love your channel. Your personality is amazing. I'm like, yeah, we all have our days. Don't worry about it. But we all need to take like a second. Sometimes you need to take just a second before you hit enter or click enter on a comment, and just take a second. Again,
it's not your life. Like, if you see something that you don't like, don't you just scroll past it?
All the time.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be 30 years old. For all the women that are on Instagram.
Damn.
Yeah. All the women that are on Instagram in their 50s and 60s. I have a mom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good. And guess what?
So,
she thinks it's funny too.
So I look at things at a pie chart. Again, this is my over-analytical mind too. I look at things at a pie chart, right? A portion of that hate is going to come from someone, damn, she's having fun in Mexico. And I'm over here in my cubicle.
Oh yeah, and I loved the women. I loved the women. Yes, exactly. But I loved like the women and my friends underneath it that were like, "This is the funniest thing ever," or they were like coming at like the people that were commenting or whatever. Because I don't even have to say anything because I just have a good time. Yeah. And like, I'm sorry, like
you are a lightning bolt.
I'm queen of the pool. There's a reason I'm queen of the pool. All right. Just gotta say, I wish I had some of the comments that but honestly. I deleted them because I was like, you know what? Back to energies. I just don't want this energy on my page. Yeah. I was like, it's just not.
There was a TikTok that I saw recently that said, when you're feeling like depleted or down or a little bit just exhausted, you just say out loud like, I take back all my power from all energies, entities, dimensions, everything. And I've done that a few times already this week, and I'm like, I feel better. Like, I reclaim my energy and power from every entity, dimension, and it's just like, oh, okay.
And I really have to say, it was maybe like 5 or 6 people that like wrote comments or whatever, but the majority of people, like, they were like, girls just want to have fun, LOL, you're having fun, can't tell, good for you, time to let loose. Like, people, like, there were so many people.
See, these are the people that vibe with you.
This girl who I met at a friend of ours wedding, she was a bridesmaid, shout out to Brit or whatever, she wrote, she was like, this excites me. Like, it was just like, it was fun. It was so fun. But anyways, I'm just here to tell you that I have no regrets, and that's one of my favorite pictures from the trip.
No regrets. Eventually, honestly, and this is not an if, this is a when all of our social medias get up to a certain point, we're gonna have moderators. And my first instruction is any ounce of negativity.
I don't care. Like, I'm not here for the follow. Well, I mean, yes, I guess I'm here for the follows, but like, I'm not opposed to block someone because they follow me, and that's gonna, like, I don't care. Like, see ya.
Yeah.
Like, but anyways, as we transition into our next topic, is keeping on this energy vibe. No joke. First chapter, brand new class, theories and methods. I'm at Rhode Island College to get my master's in mental health counseling, and they were talking about energies and stuff like that, and I was like, write this down. Yeah. Literally, because I do take notes.
Yeah. But, I don't. I'm a horrible note taker.
I'm a note taker. Well, so it's weird right now. I'm sure if there's any other students that are watching this, you guys can relate. Like, we're on Zoom right now. All of our classes are on Zoom. So it's cool. We're actually... when this drops, I'll be in class. And we're talking about person-centered theory, which is all based on this guy, Carl Rogers, who basically said, instead of doing the psychoanalytic type of psychology, instead of telling you what to do and like whatnot, like, you're actually taking cues from the client. And it's really, really cool. So, like, representing things that they say to you, and like, and saying like, okay, like, what do you want to share, and where do you want to go with this? And it was so controversial because so many people were saying that he was, basically like not using the correct form, and it just like, it wasn't what it was supposed to be, because they were giving the client too much power. They were supposed to be directing it, yada yada. But it was really, really interesting. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
I think. And there's a fundamental difference between directing and guiding. I think this is my own personal experience with therapy. When you go to therapy, you need to go in there not thinking, okay, this person is going to have the answers for me.
It's definitely not that. They're there to be the third party. First of all, I'm a big believer. So our final project for this semester is we kind of have to explain like what kind of therapist we would be. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, like, you're there to listen and direct them. Yeah. You're not there to tell them how to live their life, because things can change so easily. They could come in one session and they're like, listen, I want to be a doctor. I'm just using this as like an easy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like 3 sessions later, they're like, actually, you know, I want to start a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's just, you're there to help them keep things straight, unless of course they have a severe mental illness, whatnot. But I'm talking about like, just like, for lack of a better term, I don't mean this offensively, like run-of-the-mill counseling. Like, mm-hmm. you know, there is not a single person that is not at a struggle in life. So I just think like it's so important. And I learned this, and it's funny they talk about this in the chapter that we read. Is interesting that you can't be the type of therapist that you've never experienced. Like, what type of therapy have you experienced? Mm. And I'm very lucky that I've been in therapy where I've literally said to my therapist, like, well, what should I do? And she's like, well, what do you think you should do? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, that's why I'm asking you. And I'm sure a million people can relate to this. So I'm interested to see if anybody else has had a Carl Rogers moment, is what they call it, in therapy, where like, do you go to therapy so that your therapist can kind of tell you what to do, or do they help direct you? Because to be honest, if somebody's telling you what to do, you can kind of deflect the blame if something happens. Mm-hmm. So me personally, like, I want to help people. I want to guide them to make the best decision for them and what's going to help them in their lives. Yeah. So I particularly thought that this chapter was very interesting. It's definitely, we have to write these like small exposés on a couple of chapters. It's definitely going to be a chapter that I do one on, because I find it very fascinating. Yeah. But it's really the first time that I have really started learning about what they call PCT, which is person-centered therapy. And it's really based on what the client gives you and you helping them work with where they want to go and what they want to do. And I think that's a common misconception personally of therapy, that people go in there and they're just going to be fixed.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that they talked about, is that's not, it's not a magic power. It's work. It's like marriage. It's work. Friendships are work.
Yeah. Relationships are work.
Yeah.
They have, they have, cognitive behavior.
CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah, there's just so many. That's the one I have most exposure to from therapists on me.
But now I don't know if this is factual but cognitive behavioral therapy is talk therapy. You could still be doing cognitive behavioral therapy with a therapist who is like PCT centric.
Oh yeah,
and you know what I mean. So it's very interesting. There's so many different things. So like, have you ever been in therapy where they kind of present the questions more back to you?
Of course, yeah. So, well, that's what I was trying to say earlier, is they're going to reword it in a way back to you so that you continue talking, right? So there would be a buzzword where you'll say, I'll be like, I'm scared of the dark. What about the dark scares you, Lupe? And then I go, all right, never thought of it that way. It's the unknown. Oh, okay. What about the unknown? And it's like, these are sometimes you might think these are simple questions, but they're elusive questions that you don't ask yourself in your own head. So absolutely. They're there to, again, not direct you, to help guide you to a place where you can finally flip the switches on a few things.
Absolutely.
Right. One of my past therapists did an amazing, this is why I'm a huge believer in therapy, especially for men, is she helped me flick a switch that I am forever, ever grateful for. I would not be the person that I am today without flipping that switch. And that's why I'm just a huge believer. And then I can't wait to see what else you learn in this class. It's really fun.
I'm really, really excited. So the whole premise of it, I'll kind of leave it at this, is theories and methods. I compare it to, if you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it, sort of a thing. So they're saying people think that learning the old ways, this is what my professor was saying, people think that learning the old ways is a waste of time, but you need to learn the old ways and how people used to do it so you can progress and you can change and you can see, this might work for somebody like X, Y, and Z, or somebody, because I don't even want to say somebody who is diagnosed with something, because it's not always, you know what I mean? It's what the person is most receptive to. Yeah. But it's really interesting that you learn all of these things and then you can almost kind of take each little thing that you're, you know what I mean? And that's why at the end of Theories and Methods, they say, I want you to do like a 5-minute video. And I was like, only 5 minutes? Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to struggle. Yeah. But they want to hear like what kind of therapist you'll be.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you can kind of take a piece from each and every one of those. So I'm excited to share with you guys some of that stuff. We got a lot of positive feedback from people that were really excited that we were going to talk about mental health. Yeah. A lot of people that were saying they wanted to talk about family members. They wanted to talk about how to recover and cope with like a family member or a friend that like betrays your trust. That was a good one. Somebody that I actually want to have on for a whole episode is mom's mental health. Women today, there's just such a pressure on women to be the perfect mom, the Pinterest mom, the Instagram mom, you know what I mean? And to do everything just right, and then to balance your own mental health and to balance all of your children's activities and all that kind of stuff. And there's a woman, Alicia Clayton, who she owns A&D Fitness in Johnston. And I actually spoke with her when I worked on a lifestyle show in news, and we talked about mom and work-life balance, because she is, she was actually named on Snapchat as one of the fittest moms in America.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes. And it's fascinating to me because I asked her, I was like, what's your secret? And she's like, I don't have it. No one has it. And I loved that attitude. First of all, I love her energy. I love her attitude that she's like, I'm always a work in progress. She has a son, Blake. He's so cute.
Yeah.
He'll go to the gym with her sometimes. And even she will talk about her struggling moments. She's extremely transparent on Instagram. Honestly, go follow her. She's such a great follow.
Yeah.
But I had tagged her in our post and she had said like anytime. So I'm really looking forward to having her on to talk specifically about mom's mental health. And then I'm thinking more of it. I had plenty of people that were talking about work-life balance. Yeah. That I'm trying to figure out what guest. If you guys have suggestions, please let me know.
Work-life balance, yeah.
Because I mean that is something, especially in like the media industry, that I struggled with, was work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. It really is so hard. And it's so important for your mental health. So I've had a couple people on there, and I did write these down.
Yeah.
That we're going to talk about. So I decided that, you know, we were supposed to have this whole episode be for mental health, but I actually realized like there's so many.
We have decades of videos that we can do.
Yeah, no, like I just think that there's somebody that we can have for guests. So I don't want to get too far into them, but I do want to let you know that I really appreciate all of the feedback that we're getting, and this is only going to make the show better because we're going to get more information for you guys, and I love to hear what you want to hear about. I think that's great. It was sad though. There were a lot of people that were like, how do you deal with like toxic like family member and friends? And that was kind of like the one that I was like, we can hit today, that we can kind of just give our personal opinions on, like.
Today as in right now?
Yeah, go for it.
So.
That was my cricket noise. That was a really bad cricket noise.
I think the strongest thing, and this is tough, usually the best things are the toughest things, right? But they're also the simplest things. And you okay, little Lupe?
Was that Lupe or Gandor? Someone's choking over there.
Gandor, I know. I'm talking about
you
like
right toxic
now.
Moms.
No, sometimes some things in life are the hardest things, but also the simplest things and the best things. And the crossroad of that is, again, that's why I prefaced it by saying it's the hardest, but it's also the simplest, but it's also the best, is you have to set boundaries.
You do.
And unfortunately, in this life, you are going to lose people because they were benefiting from you not having boundaries. So setting boundaries, and again, and it'll be very telling to see who respects it. And there's a difference between someone that's new to it and doesn't understand why you're setting boundaries, as opposed to somebody being mad that you're setting boundaries. So make sure you make the distinction between the two. But communication is always key. But again, boundary setting is probably the strongest, most powerful thing that you can do. And it'll show you who is really there for you, who's not, who's benefiting, who is understanding, and who's there for you for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's really well said. And I did a TikTok or an Instagram reel on setting boundaries, and just like, it's like, listen, like saying no doesn't make you a bad friend.
Yeah.
Or a bad person. Like, and I think
you say no to me all the time.
Yeah. So. Like, that's something like we need to like normalize. But I think, kidding aside.
Don't normalize it too much.
No, kidding aside, but you and I do well. We're like, I never feel uncomfortably being like, yo, like today, just like. Yeah.
We get it.
Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like I think that's really important, because you can only give so much. And that's honestly one of the things that I had to learn most in therapy. Like, I was just, and even Kerri talked about it last week, like kind of coming full circle. Like, I'm just like a giver, and I don't get back. And I kind of have to set boundaries with that. Or like, I'm that friend that's always reaching out. Where it's like, okay, well, like, is somebody going to reach out to me instead? And that's tough. You know what I mean? That's tough, but it doesn't make you a failure either. Like, people don't realize, like, that's life, too. Yeah. And I know that's different when it comes to family, specifically, but you just need to remember that even though they're family by blood, like, your mental health is so important.
So important. You can't, and this is another thing I preach to friends and the people I come across to. If you have to disappoint people, disappoint them. If you have to disappoint people,
you have to be able to choose yourself first, and I think that's always been my biggest struggle.
And I tell, like, I'll give you an example. My friend Ed, when he goes, "Hey man, I can't make it," and he, you know, we all love each other so much that we have to tell you why, and we feel so bad. And literally, what I reply to him every time is I go, "Don't worry, brother. Mental health over everything. Can't make it. We can't make it. We'll reschedule." Smiley face. Like, that's just, the people in your life will get it. At least the ones that are there authentically. And I've said it to him. He wanted me to do some golf thing, and I was like, "Man, I'm just not up for it." And then he'll just we'll just change the subject. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, not it's like totally normal. "Oh, you know, we're not friends anymore. You always And so yeah, boundaries and taking care of your mental health is important.
Yeah, I think it's really important. So
it's not easy.
It's not. It's not easy. It's super not. But I don't want people to feel like just because somebody is family by blood, they have to put up with all of these things, because you know what? You don't. And I know that it's much easier said than done. That's
a very old school way of thinking. And that doesn't mean you don't love your family. It doesn't mean that you don't love your friends who are your family. It just means that you are taking care. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't.
It's one of my favorite sayings. Write that down.
You just can't do it. And if you're pouring from an empty cup all the time, that glass,
you're just always running on low battery.
The glass is going to shatter. You're just going to be done. You're probably going to have a breakdown of some sort, and then trust me, it's like a car. I hate to put us in the realm of a car, but you have to do maintenance on yourself. You can't just let it run.
Exactly.
down.
You need to do maintenance on your car, Lupe.
I did. That down. That's why it gave me the check engine light. They're like, "Thank you, but it's gonna need a little more work."
We're gonna need some more work. Sorry about that.
But we hope you guys enjoyed today's write this down episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Shout out to Duncan. They do not sponsor this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like.
And again, like Lindsay said, guys,
I'll be Queen of Duncan instead of Queen of the Pool if you want.
Just comment down below things that Lindsay does a really good job of segmenting everything for us, what to talk about in different episodes.
And let us know that I think the 2 takeaways today. I think we should end the podcast like this. If you guys think
recap,
the little recaps of things that you should write down.
Yeah.
Put yourself first.
Yes.
Tell us if you know anyone that is informed or involved in polygamy.
Yes.
We are very, very intrigued.
Yeah.
And we are extremely respectful people. This is not an ambush. We are just very intrigued. Also,
I love to hear from others.
Drink pina coladas in pools in Mexico. Write that down for your life.
Yeah.
And
and penis. All right, guys. Write this down. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Join us on all social media. There's going to be a link for our link tree down below where you can see us, how you can catch us on all mediums.
Tell us who you want us as a guest for. That's what it was. Tell us who you want as a guest for more mental health stuff. We're going to have a mental health mom on. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about a lot of different sessions. I think I'm going to make those whole episodes. So let us know.
All right, guys. Till next time. Ciao.